If you're thinking about putting your home up for sale, why not save some money and market it yourself? Well, beware. Our KC Live home and real estate expert Elizabeth Sady is here to explain why tackling this big project on your own can waste precious time and even put your own safety at risk. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, Michelle.
Okay, why could that be potential safety risk?
Yes, okay, and I don't want to freak anyone out, but it is something to consider in this business. It's something as an agent you always have, in mind. When you're selling your house yourself, think about who's going to let that stranger into your home. And they're strangers. I mean, it's somebody that you have a phone number for them, maybe if they called. They knock on the door and want to see the house, who's going to show it to them? Are your kids going to be there while a stranger's walking through your home? And then another thing is if someone calls and wants to look at the house and you say, well, we're going to be at work all day tomorrow and we won't be home until 6 o'clock, so it'll have to be after 6. I mean, what might you have just told a stranger about, the state of your home?
I'm away.
Exactly. So there's definitely a safety thing to consider, and that's something to think about and plan for.
Okay, now you don't really get a lot of feedback when you have your home listed by the owner.
Yes, by all means.
So why is it better to have a realtor to get that feedback?
Yeah, so if you're selling your house yourself, feedback is very difficult for you to get because you're showing the home, and people will come through, and all the time they come through, and then the owner will say, okay, what do you think? What did you think? And that person's, it's kind of like insulting someone's decorating taste to their face. That is very hard to do, to say, well, I really don't like the wood you chose in the kitchen. I really didn't like, the way that you finished the basement. And so you're not getting any feedback the whole time that you're trying to sell your home, and feedback is very crucial to being able to figure out what you need to do to sell your home.
Having that person in the middle can help with those awkward moments so that you know why maybe it's not selling.
Exactly, and as an agent, you're a tool for those homeowners that reaches out to the other agent or talks to a buyer. I was at an open house yesterday, and it was easy for me to say, what did you think? There might be a time where someone, to ask the right questions, but someone will say, well, the garage was really small. And my response to that would be, oh, did you see the shed out back? Did you notice that you could keep all your lawn, equipment out back, that kind of helps with the garage? Or some might say, gosh, we really liked it, but that deep red in the dining room is good. And in the entryway, those tall ceilings, I don't want to have to deal with painting it. Great, my folks will take care of getting that painted. Would that make the house work for you? There's times where you can kind of facilitate that. Michelle, it's not always negative feedback. A lot of times I'm gathering feedback from my sellers, and it's, wow, this house is priced right. We love it. We want to buy it. And I might have 3 or 4 people saying that to me. So I'm gathering that feedback to let my folks know when they get an offer, we don't need to come off our price a whole lot. We are priced right. We are in the right place. And we can hold, tight to our list price.
Let's talk about the price. That price point, you don't really know if you don't have an agent recommending based on those sales in the past 6 months in your neighborhood or the surrounding area.
Exactly. It is hard for you, and you're not in the business that day in and day out. And a lot of times feedback, too. If someone's saying the bedrooms are too small or we didn't really like that might be a clue to you that you may need to adjust the price.
Now, in terms of going over the contract, it really can be tough to understand all the legal jargon that goes into it. Why is it important to have an agent help you walk you through that process? So as a seller, when you're selling by yourself, I find it often, because I'm at times representing a buyer and then seller is representing themselves, you give away too much. As a seller, you may very well give away that, hey, you know what, we've lived here for 15 years and we love it, but my wife just lost her job and we have to sell. Well, you've just told the other team, the other person in the negotiations, that you're kind of desperate, and so maybe they can negotiate, off the price. Or you might very well agree to unfavorable terms because you're so scared. I see a lot of times where you don't know how real estate necessarily works, and so you're so scared that buyer might walk away, that here all of a sudden you're agreeing to things that put you in a really bad place as a seller or adds a lot of stress to you. And our contracts are 16 pages long, and that's just the base contract. It's filled with loopholes and all kinds of things that can really, where a buyer can very well cancel out on a contract right before closing if you don't know what you're doing. There's timelines and there's a lot of little details that it's always good to have someone helping with. And again, avoiding the stress. It's all about avoiding the stress. It's a big deal. Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth. We appreciate your advice.
Problem.